Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted this afternoon to have the man, the top dog, the CEO, the founder, the owner, the bottle washer upper, the candlestick maker, everything. He does everything. But he has got his hands on a very, very nice little company. It's called the Travel Connection Group. He's made great strides in the last 3 or 4 years. And so, good afternoon, Howard.
Good afternoon, Graham.
How are you doing?
I'm very good. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, good. Howard, we're going to talk a little bit about your Media Getaway event, which is coming up through halfway through next year. Tell me a little bit, what is Media Getaway? I mean, it does what it says on the tin a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, media. I mean, we've been doing a lot of events in London over the last few years, and we bring together travel journalists with PR representatives of travel brands, whether that's destinations or any travel company. And then in 2021, I was asked whether I could do something similar in Manchester, and I just said, well, you can't really just take people up to Manchester for an evening and ask them to go home again. So we put this plan together with the Hyatt Regency in Manchester and Marketing Manchester to do a 2-day event where people would come up, stay in the hotel. We do kind of like a media marketplace type thing where buyers and sellers can meet. And it's just generally 2 days of networking. We did it in Manchester. We then repeated it again earlier this year in Leeds with about 150 people. And everyone just loves the idea of a fun, informal 2 days of really getting to know each other. Journalists come from all over the UK and Ireland. PR representatives come from all over the world, mostly Europe at the moment, but we have had some people fly in from the US and Canada. And it's just a fun 2 days of meeting, networking with journalists that you probably won't normally meet at London events.
Good. Well, reveal all. Where is 2024 going to be?
So 2024 is going to be in Glasgow from the 24th to the 26th of June. We're working alongside Glasgow Life, Glasgow Convention Bureau. The main hotel we're using is the Radisson Blu. We're also using the Voco Grand Central. And we've got support from the city. So like the opening evening will be a civic reception hosted by the Lord Provost of the city. So it's a formal welcome to the city. And then during the day, on the main day of the event, we'll do what we call the connection zone, where companies will sit at tables, journalists will come along and meet them. They can either arrange meetings in advance or just walk around and say hello. And then in the evening of that day, we're hoping that we're going to have a bit of a ceilidh. But generally, it's 2 days in Glasgow. If you've been to Glasgow, you know what city it is. It's a brilliant place to hold an event. They are just brilliant at putting events on, big, small. They welcome everybody. And so far, everybody who's come to Leeds particularly has said that they want to come to Glasgow. We've got a lot of new faces who say they want to come along, but there's still plenty of space available. So if you want 2 days in Glasgow, having a really good time with some travel journalists that you would normally meet, this is the event for you.
So, how many journalists would you? I mean, how many do you have in Leeds, and how many would you expect in Glasgow? I mean, if I was a destination or a tour operator or a coach company, how many people could I realistically expect to meet in a formal way? Even though often on these occasions it's the informal meetings that actually give you that extra ROI.
Yeah, so in Leeds we had 88 journalists, and in Glasgow I anticipate we'll probably get about 150. That's a bit of a guess. At the moment, we've got about 48 who have registered to attend. I'm working with a PR company up in Scotland to get some local journalists to come along, and there's still 6 months to go. So a lot of journalists will be thinking, yeah, I'll wait and see whether I've got a trip available, and then I'll make a decision. But if they don't jump in, they won't be able to come. So there's only a set number of rooms that we've got allocated, and we can only get a set number of people in. But if we can, we'll be having about 150 journalists coming along to the event. And so far, 42 companies have already signed up. So that's about half what we can actually allocate. So if anybody wants to come, they've got to get on with it, really.
Can you give me a flavour and give our listeners and watchers a flavour of what sort of companies and destinations have already committed?
Yeah, so we've got it tends to be mostly international tourist boards like France, Germany, Austria have signed up. Visit Scotland will almost certainly be there, although they haven't confirmed yet. if we go by what we had in Leeds, we had people like Croatia, Canada, although Canada can't come this time. There was a better US turnout in Leeds than there was in Manchester, so we expect even more to come in Glasgow. But it's not just destinations that are coming. We get attractions coming along. We get some tour operators coming along. So it's not just a destination event. It's not like, Destinations North or something like that. Anybody who has a PR representative representing a travel brand wanting to meet journalists, and I'll just say again, these are journalists that you probably won't normally meet in London because they don't always come to London. Then, if you're a PR representative of a travel brand, this is a great event for you.
And finally, I'm assuming that obviously Glaswegians are the ultimate hosts in the world. It will be very light during June for, 18 hours of the day. They've obviously got magnificent facilities in Glasgow, but will there be opportunities to do fam trips, to have a more detailed and more intense look at Glasgow and what it's got to offer?
Yeah, I mean, we tend to look at putting the trips on for the journalists rather than the companies going along, but anybody who comes to the event will have the option to do trips. And yes, there will be on the second day of the event, there will be trips to along specific themes. So there'll be a trip to Kelvin Grove, for example. There'll be probably a food tour. I mean, if we go by what we had in Leeds, it was things like food tour, Instagrammable spots of the city. I mean, Glasgow's just got so much to offer. I don't know at this stage whether there'll be a sport-related tour because I'm not sure that they can put that one together. But certainly you'd be able to go to places like Kelvin Grove, the Science Museum, and look at other hotels. So, from a media perspective, you can really get as much from the city as you possibly can. And also, Glasgow is a very big place, but with the way we've designed this event is that everything is centered around the train station. So the two hotels we're using are literally next door to the train station. So everything we do is going to be within walking distance. As we getting on buses and going, the outskirts of LA or something like that. It's
there's more than one railway station in Glasgow, don't you?
This is the Grand Central Railway Station we're talking about.
Good.
Everything
Good. Lovely. Well, as you know, I have registered. I'm coming, so I'm really looking forward to it. It should be great. And Howard, I wish you the very best of luck, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers.